Meeting to order. Roll call. All members are here. Attest to publication.
I saw it.
Thank you, Joni. Approval of the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
A second.
Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Lisa to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. District mission, vision, and values. Joni.
Bangor School District Mission, Vision, and Value Statements. Mission, Bangor Pride, a small school building big futures. Vision, an innovative small school creating excellence through personalized learnings and relationships for all. Values, student-centered, safety, opportunities for all, small class sizes, fiscally sustainable, foster community, continuous improvement, professionalism. The Board of Education collective commitments. As a member of the Bangor School Board, I will be an active listener who is open-minded, respectful, and inquisitive. Together, with one collective voice, we are committed to forward-thinking while strategically prioritizing for our students, staff, and community now and into the future.
Thank you, Joni. Public comment. Moving on, approval of the minutes from July 10th.
So moved.
Motion made by Joni, seconded by Tina. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I'll abstain.
Shelley.
Shelley will abstain. Thank you. Board President's Report. School Board Convention is January 22nd through the 24th. Please let Dr. Brockup know as soon as possible if you are attending or plan to attend so he can make reservations.
Even if you're thinking you're going to attend, it would be great because I can always cancel a room, and then the next couple weeks I won't be able to get a room. So let me know if you're thinking that's a possibility by the end of the week. That'd be great.
Thank you. All right, committee reports. Policy Review Committee. Tina?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, goals. Policy Review is Joni. I'm sorry.
As you all know, all of these policies get approved in segments, and considering the time it took to get through that segment, another one with a timely deadline came up after we did our review. So we had another meeting to review the Title IX policy that we will be having our first and second reading tonight because of the deadline. Other than that, that was the only thing we reviewed on the most recent meeting.
Any questions for Joni? Thank you. Tina, Goals Committee.
We had our goals committee, I believe, like a month ago, a couple weeks ago. We went over everything that we changed about a year or two ago and tried to create it between the high school and the elementary school and not just focus on one thing because it's very hard to compare the two buildings and it can't just be based on scores. So it's trying to make everybody work together as they have been and then focusing on what we want, so at the end, promote our community and work together. So all those things are staying the same. We talked about having our meetings twice, 3 times a year, which before we only used to have it once a year. So it helps us refocus again and see how things are going with the PD days and everything and see if there's any suggestions or changes that need to be made. But right now everything seemed to be going well, and we talked to both admin staff and you yourself, and it was good.
We had a really good discussion about the process at both of the schools. Principals have shared some great information and the process of working through all of the steps, and very interesting. It was good.
I would just add, I think one of the things that we did come out of that, similar to the presentation that I've created for you with like the open enrollment and coming back to you a little bit more frequently with that, we're going to go back a few years and get some data for you for just generally how our schools have been performing, put that in a format where you can see multiple years and give you an update or two throughout the year just on how we're running this year and how those assessments are coming. That was part of that goals conversation. That was like, we really don't know until we get to report card time, and then we get the report card and then we move on and we don't see it. So that was one of the goals for us as an admin team this year, to get that presentation together just so that you guys can kind of be updated more frequently throughout the year, and something we'll work on and have in place for you.
But I think I want to chime in. During COVID, we didn't do a lot of testing and things, so we weren't able to do the comparables. We're finally getting to a point now where we can actually start looking at that year after year data again. So it wasn't that we didn't want to previously. It didn't line up, or we didn't have it. So we're excited to be able to do that as well.
Thank you. Transportation. I don't know who chair is. Shelley?
Yeah, David will talk a little bit more on the, what's it? Pretty much it came up that we are in need of a new plow truck. David talked to everybody on the phone. We didn't actually have a meeting. The prices that came together were actually really good. Me personally have done that a year ago with placing a plow truck, so the numbers David came back with looked really good, and we're able to move forward. And hopefully, I guess after tonight's meeting, we'll see, but what he came back with was really good.
Thank you, everyone. District financials, financial documents were in our packet.
I think one of the biggest questions that I got from a couple board members was just clarification on the refunds to Odyssey of the Mines families. As you guys know, that was a huge number that they needed to raise this year. And because it was such a huge number and we'd had some issues with that in the past, we asked people to put forward $200 instead of the typical $100 to make sure that they had the skin in the game and we're going to actually follow through if we spent the money. The fundraising group for that did amazing and exceeded the fundraising amount that they needed to exceed. So we've built up the Odyssey of Mine account, even with basically refunding $100 of the $200. So $100 is the standard that every kid has put in for years. We had asked for more because of the large amount. They took care of it, so we refunded that $100. So that's out of an activity account. That's not an additional district expense or anything. So just wanted to clarify that one. If there are no other questions, we'd look for approval of the financials as presented.
I'll move to approve the financials as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Joni, seconded by Kelly. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Julie, can I ask you what? The transportation committee, we went through the safety thing of all the buses. Remember when you had the audit and you did all of that? And then you got buses. Are we all good now? All that's taken care of and done?
Yeah,
No
all of our
worries?
buses that are returning to us have been through Cletus's, and we've taken care of all of the things and have them up and ready to go, and they'll be ready for the inspection in April, when we come around to that. But we've taken care of those. Our transportation situation with buses is in a far, far better place with the three that we have out there. The last thing we got to do is get the radios put in them, and they will be ready to go out and hit the road.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to go backwards.
No, thank you. Okay, facility projects update.
Yeah, a question I got asked once, I think, this week is how construction's going and what the outlook looks like. And Mike and Rick laughed, and we just walked through the middle school, high school. You got a chance to see it, and people were like, "Dave, are you really thinking we're going to be ready for school?" And the answer is yes. I feel very confident in this building. We're going to be there. There's some work to be done in the next couple weeks, but we're going to get there. The elementary school. There's still significant work to be done in the elementary school. We had a pretty lengthy and pretty poignant foreman's meeting project managers meeting today over in the trailer, and I think it is realistic, and we are beginning to prepare for the situation where we may not have the full commons area for hosting lunch at the elementary school in the commons like we would like to on the first couple days of school, probably that first 4 days of school. I hope that we're preparing for that and planning for alternatives to that for nothing, and that we make the timeline, but I'd rather be prepared and be able to make that work if we need to. We feel pretty confident that we're going to be in all of the classrooms, but the last one's on the 26th. This building, we shouldn't see a contractor on the 26th is what we're shooting for. They'll be still working in the middle of the middle school or the elementary school through that week and potentially into that next week, the first week of school if they have to be. We've been through this for a year. I was hoping for a little bit smoother fall, but I think the realities of the delays that we had with the beam in the middle of that building, while they continued to stay busy during that time and did what they could, it created a place where everybody's got to be at the same place at once. And it's still not an exaggeration that we'll have 40 to 50 people in that building a day. It looks like ants. They're everywhere doing everything all at the same time on top of each other. Progress is being made on a daily basis. But there's just only so much they can do in the time that they have. So that's what we're preparing for at the elementary school. And we will, we feel confident on the classroom part of it that we will be ready to function from that standpoint. We will have the open house on the 28th where kids will be able to come in with their parents, go to their teachers, go to their classroom, drop off school supplies, meet their teacher, all of those types of things. It won't be a full open house of the whole building to see everything, but we'll be able to get folks to where they need to be in and out there. With that, I am optimistic. We've been talking about this, looking at homecoming weekend, which I believe is the 20th of September, and trying to do something that Friday for a big community open house before the football game, and see if we can do something like that. So I'm optimistic. By that point in time, we're ready to really show off everything to the community of all of the work that has been done, more so than right before school starts. So I knew there would be little things, but there's definitely some larger things that are going to happen there. I think we've had good feelings for the last few weeks because the classrooms are getting so close and there is so much progress being made there. But there's just a lot of things that you don't see in the heart of that building and getting everything fired up so it passes the inspections and everything like that's going to have to happen over the next couple weeks. So we're going to encourage them and support them and push. I've been pushing. Mike was in the meeting this morning. He understands, where what we're trying to leverage and what we're trying to push and trying to get to those dates. But some of that's out of our control, and we'll just continue to do everything that we can to make those timelines fit. So, activity center, we have everything rolling there, and are shooting for that being able to hold the elections in that building on November 5th. That's kind of what we're looking for. The gym floor definitely held things up in that building, and that timeline of the 2 weeks of waiting before you can walk on it once it's completely done, playing all of that into it, getting to that point is what we're shooting for. So all things that we've seen, a lot of them we've seen coming, and some of them just the realization of the contractors of what they have to complete. So that's kind of what we'll see. You saw a little bit at the middle school, high school tonight. We'll take a little walk at the elementary after, and you can get a glimpse at what that looks like. And we're going to keep pushing on and be ready to go. Our kids are going to be fortunate. It's just not going to be as neat and clean as we'd like it to be day one. So
So if serving lunch might be an issue, will the kitchen be prepared to make the lunch?
Yeah, it's not even as much the kitchen as it is the serving area or the commons area. We're feeling pretty good about the kitchen timeline, and Borton is ready for that. Friday, they'll be able to start walking on that floor. By Monday, they'll be putting all the appliances in. I mean, we should be in a really good shape on that. It's the amount of LVT, ceiling grid, all of those types of things. And I will say, it's not the fault of, like our ceiling grid company or, it's just, they have to wait till they have access, and they're finally getting the access they need to some of those areas. Again, when there's that many people, everybody's on top of each other in there. So trying to keep the things progressing has just been a challenge. So the kitchen should be ready and operational, and that shouldn't be the issue.
I barely know what day it is, so what day are we starting school?
This September 3rd.
Okay, just
Yep.
like normal, okay.
Yep.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. District action agenda, our 2024-2025 district goals.
Yeah, as Tina discussed, we had a great conversation around these goals. We kind of started with last year's, updated the things that needed to be updated. I think it speaks volumes that we continue to push in the same direction instead of, changing dramatically the course of the goals. This is the direction we're pushing as far as all of the efforts that are being made during our PDP days or professional development days, all those types of things. This just is a continuation of that. So if there's no additional questions on the goals, we'd look for approval of the goals for 24-25.
I'll make a motion to approve the 24-25 district goals as reviewed by the Goals Committee.
Second.
Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Kelly. Any further questions or discussion? Approval, or I ask for a motion to approve? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, we got that already. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Childcare lease.
So we just had a special meeting, gave the board authority to approve the lease. This is the lease in place. We have a inspection, a kind of a pre-licensing visit tomorrow to get this thing rolling. Once this is approved tonight, we are attempting to actually license the art room to start, because their primary space will be the commons area, but the commons area isn't quite ready, and licensing isn't going to license it if it's not quite ready. So we've had conversations. I spent a half hour or so on the phone with pre-licensing yesterday trying to talk through and explain our situation. We will be there, but we may need to license this alternative spot. So that's where we're going to set up for tomorrow and get the pre-licensing visit done, and then she can get her licensure and be up and running. She does have a full group, and I think she maybe got one spot left, but she's ready to roll for the school year. So excited to have this. Again, this is the childcare lease that was drafted by Bob Butler for us for this reason. So looking for approval of that lease.
The licensing, that is not us at all.
Not us at all.
That is just her, you're just opening the doors. so
The
they can
only
come
part
through.
of us is we have to have a facility that meets the
But they'll license.
regulations, and our facility is slightly under construction right now. So that's the part that we need to get it done so that they can get their full licensure for the main area.
And so then do we have to do something once we are finished to change the area?
She will have to.
She will have to.
Yep, she will have to. Yep,
This was drafted by,
by our
Okay.
attorney.
went through everything. Everything I can see is it's pretty much year to year,
Yep,
Yep.
but
We will-
to an extension to a certain amount of time, correct?
right.
Does anybody else have questions? I'll make a motion to approve the childcare lease presented by David.
I'll second.
Motion made by Tina, seconded by Joni. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So, purchase of the plow truck?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, for 3 years, as we've been looking at vehicles and updating vehicles, I have continued to ask, and there has been nothing available in terms of a plain work truck that we could replace our 20-year-old plow truck with. In having those conversations, I had multiple conversations when I was getting bids from multiple dealers on vans and those types of things. I said, let me know if something comes up. And Les Mack in Lancaster let me know. And this came available. It was not the timing I was necessarily looking for, but it was available. It's set up for snow plowing. The cost looking to approve at $54,862.50 includes the truck and the plow completely installed and ready to go. The only other thing will be the license and title that we'll take care of as well. So this would be ready to go. I do intend to, we're hoping to use Facebook Marketplace and put our old truck out there, and working with the dealer, they're suggesting that I list it for $9,000 and see if we can get somewhere around that. So that will, offset this slightly, but there is still value in a 20-year-old 3/4 ton plow truck with the plow and stuff all set up. So we're looking to do that and upgrade by 20 years. I would say this is, maybe not a 20-year purchase, but this is a 10 to 15-year purchase pretty easily, and potentially we've seen the life come for 20 years out of a vehicle like this. So looking for approval of that, or I'm happy to answer any other questions about it.
You weren't able to just trade it? I know it sounds like the most simplest question, but
He encouraged me that we would do way better if I were to
Sell
list
it
it on
outright.
Marketplace.
I asked the same question.
Yeah, good question.
They were gonna lowball us, I'm sure, to trade it.
If there's no other questions, I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the 2024 Chevy Silverado HD 2500 with the new 8-foot Super Duty Boss plow installed from Les Mack Chevy for $54,862.50.
I'll second.
Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Lisa. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Blacktop repair, seal paint, elementary playground, high school parking lot.
We have not done any of these blacktop repairs or sealing over the last few years. In the past, this is the company that we've used. They're based out of like the Appleton area. They work their way across their state, and they hit schools and other municipalities and stuff for these types of repairs across the state, and then they work their way back. So we got notified this was the time that they were in the area where we in need. These are the two areas. The elementary playground, just after it's been through this construction, needs to be freshened up. And the middle school, high school parking lot that are the hardest to do at a later time because there's traffic there or kids there. So we looked at those being our two highest priority areas. I do see us making a couple of other blacktop repairs to the main drag when we do the blacktop at the activity center later, in probably late September, early October. But these are the kind of the yearly maintenance. This includes some heat repairs that they do where the blacktop has really deteriorated, sealing, the crack filling of all of the cracks, then the black sealing of everything, and then coming back one more day and doing all the lines. This will also include the lines at the end of the parking lot that we've wanted for a couple of years where the walking area is, so clearly defined crosswalk and stuff where students are coming from across the 10th Avenue. So that's the timing of it. And again, they come through once a year. Company we've used for multiple years to do all this.
So this has nothing to do with the referendum. This is just annual maintenance,
Yep.
regular repair, something that we would be looking at.
Yes.
So the extra lot or the extra spaces you're putting out front, that'll be at a different time?
That will go in when they pour out here and at the elementary parking lot. So that'll go in on the 20th.
Do you see a lot of major repairs from the main area?
I don't see a
Is there-
lot, but I definitely see some on the corner. And there's just 3 or 4 pretty soft spots that would be the hope we could do those soft spots and firm those up, especially over here on this corner. The elementary parking lot is not terrible, but I want to see once all of the dumpsters are gone and everything like that, if there's any other repairs that need to be made.
So then how do we know if this price is gonna fit if we don't know what we're all covering yet?
No, that's a completely different.
Okay,
This is
Definitely.
this is the playground and the middle school, high school parking lot,
okay,
and it takes care of them for 4 or 5 years.
okay, okay. This running a school is expensive.
If there's no other questions, I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Asphalt Seal and Repair for the elementary playground and high school parking lot repairs at a cost of $24,225.
Second.
Motion made by Lisa, seconded by Tina. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, next, resolution authorizing the school district budget to exceed revenue limit by $900,000 for recurring purposes.
So there's 2 resolutions here. These are the resolutions we've been talking about for the last 3-4 months in renewing our operational referendum. Being clear with the fact that this is a $900,000, which is not an increase, but it is for recurring purposes. So if approved, we would not reapprove the same $900,000. If we ever come back to an operational referendum, it would be for hopefully a much smaller amount, and it would be clearly identified for what purposes and those types of things. This $900,000 is to continue the funding that has been voter supported for our district for quite some time. And we went through that whole presentation last time. So this is, we talked about this last time. I said it would be my intention to bring these resolutions back to you so they can go on the November 5th referendum. The first resolution is saying that we will go to referendum. The first one is the referendum with the referendum question. The second one is just the board saying we are going to referendum on November 5th. So the approval of the resolution authorizing us to exceed the revenue limits. So formality, but there are 2 different resolutions. They're
Okay.
both accomplishing the same thing.
If there are no other questions, I make a motion, be it resolved by the school board of the School District of Bangor, La Crosse and Monroe Counties, Wisconsin, that the revenue included in the school district's budget be authorized to exceed the revenue limit specified in sections 121.91 Wisconsin statutes by $900,000 beginning with the 2025-2026 school year for recurring purposes.
Can I ask one question? Isn't it usually not to exceed? It says to exceed.
We are exceeding the revenue limit by $900,000.
We're exceeding the regular.
It's not to exceed $900,000. we're exceeding the revenue limit by
We're
$900,000.
going beyond that to the 900, and then we stop. This is saying we can only go to 900.
Yep,
and
we're
then-
exceeding it by
Exactly.
900,000.
Got
We
it.
don't have to at our annual meeting, and the board
Do we
can
have
approve a
not to
budget.
exceed somewhere else?
Not with the referendum.
I think
This-
it's if
this
it's
is-
the other way.
This is correct. Budget to exceed revenue limit by 900,000 in the next one as well. This is what we
It's not the
reviewed.
900,000 that we're exceeding the revenue limit. So it's how you're,
The
it's
additional.
how you're wording it.
Okay.
Yes.
We
going
will,
beyond
we
the
will
revenue
decide.
limit
We
by
can't exceed that when
900,000.
we set our budget. We can't exceed $900,000 over the revenue limit. But the language is correct here that we are exceeding the revenue limit by $900,000. We have the authority to, we're not approving that right now. We're asking for the authority to,
Exceed the
Okay.
limit,
right?
right.
I'll second.
Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Joni. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, and then the next resolution?
I'll make a motion to approve a resolution providing for a referendum election on the question of the approval of a resolution authorizing the school district budget to exceed revenue limit by 900,000 for recurring purposes.
Second.
Motion made by Joni, seconded by Kelly. Any questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. So new policy, second reading. We did the first reading at our last meeting, and this is regarding artificial intelligence. So this will be our second reading.
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading of policy number 7540.08 in regards to artificial intelligence.
Second.
Motion made by Joni, seconded by Lisa. Any questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So we do have a new policy, and this is with the, what's the
Title IX.
Titles, yeah.
So this is our policy on non-discrimination. Federal law requires us to have this in place in August. It was a very late
Change.
addition to through Neola and everything like that. We knew it was coming, but it was late to get there with the chaos at the end of the school year. I should have had it in that last group. I didn't, but we do need to get this approved. We pulled another meeting together. We reviewed it as we talked about, as Joni mentioned. And with it needing to be in place in August, we are going to use our bylaw, policy 0131, and I'm asking us to waive the second reading of this policy so it becomes active immediately. So the motion tonight that we would be looking for was to approve the first reading and waive the second reading per bylaw 0131.1, putting this in effect immediately, basically.
If you have any questions about Title IX, it is in our packet, and it's also on the board docs. I read it on the board docs. So if you have any questions about what that entails.
Is there any immediate questions? Otherwise, I would make a motion to approve the first reading of the new policy 2264 and waive the second reading per our bylaw policy 0131.1.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Joni, seconded by Shelley. Any other questions, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
The last policy, there's one more that's just an update, which means it'll go into effect because updates we only approve once, is our old non-discrimination policy. The only change to this policy is that we added a line at the beginning that this still applies to any complaint that happened before August 1st, 2024. So this would still be the policy we would use for any old complaints, and anything new, anything new moving forward would use the new policy in place. So that's the only change to this policy. This is a policy we've had in place for quite a while.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve update of policy 2266.
Second.
Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Lisa. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, administrative report. We will start with Mr. Chaplin.
Thanks, Julie. The only thing I have on there is the budget allotted to us from the federal government for IDEA and the preschool. So there's the regular IDEA and then there's a preschool allocation that are different. Both went down by less than 1%. And that's just based on a rolling average of students in special education. And again, I would remind you that this is a 15% of what special education budget is. The other bulk of it comes from reimbursement from the state, but most of it comes from us funding it locally.
Any questions for Mr. Chaplin? Thank you. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Julie. Just a change of events. We have Katie Jones, who was a longtime para up here at the middle high school, filling our vacant para position at the elementary. Katie had talked to me, I suppose, a couple of years ago now, and has worked with our kids during summer school, and just had an interest in being down at the elementary school. And when we opened it up, she applied. Again, she's replacing Brenda Bratz, who is replacing our interpreter, if that makes sense. So looking forward to that. Katie's going to be a great asset to the team as she was up here, and she will do awesome things down there. Super excited for that. I was a little late, apologize, but I was wrapping up the photographer down at our building. And all of that, big shout out to Terry and Melanie, and I'm sure there are other people involved in this, Jody, or maybe I know David was involved in it a little too, but our online registration process went very, very smooth. Many comments just about how easy it was. And the vast majority of people came into the office and said, do I got to do anything else? So just getting just that, they're like, that was it. That was kind of, yeah. So, and through this process, just Terry's on my end, I talk to her all the time. I know Rick talks to Melanie all the time. I'm sure the conversation is the same, but these are things that we can do again to make this process even more efficient, more better for our parents. The pictures, as far as Cahill goes, I know down in my building, the guy that Kyle down there did a great job. His parents were in and out in sometimes seconds, honestly. The guy, he's a really neat guy to talk to, and I thought that again, Cahill's we've been with Cahill for, I think this is our 4th year, and just has done a nice job repeatedly. So shout out to them. And we got more students, so several. People are moving to Bangor. So.
Any questions for Mr. Johnson? Thank you. Mr. Mullenberg.
Thank you, Julie. First, I'm happy to report on our AP scores. We started our AP classes in 2020 in our English department. Otherwise, we would offer a few online here or there if students wanted them. But the first year we had 10 students in there. The second year we had 15. Then we had 11. We had 18. Then this year we had 24. So it's the most students we've had take our AP ELA class. And the last 2 years we've had over 50% of our students earn college credit. It's not easy. The first year we had 30%. The second year we had 33%. It's held to that standard. So we had the most students this year earn college credit on AP classes than we've ever had here in the district. So I'm excited about that. And we also had a student score a 5 in an area, which is the highest you can get. And Brittany Freimiller, who teaches the class, said she has never seen that before. and she also grades AP exams. So she said it's very rare, and we're obviously really proud of the student that did that. All of our students, even the ones that didn't necessarily meet the threshold of the 3 to earn the college credit, did a fantastic job. She said this is probably the best group that she's ever had, and she's been in 3 different districts. So that says a lot about the kids that are in there and what they're doing. So that continues to grow. You know, the first year we were hoping to have enough to have a class. This last year we thought, oh no, do we need to have 2? You know, or not, oh no, I guess that's a good problem to have. But so I'm happy for our students to be able to earn that college credit. And along with that, it's not listed on there, but our transcripted credit is when we work with Western on that and we have classes that meet the standard for them, kids can actually get credit, transcripted credit through Western, which will transfer to a lot of other schools and 4-year schools. Well, as you know, we replaced a lot of our CTE department where most of those come from. So last year we only had 1 class, which is our welding class. This year we're adding career communications as well with Mr. Cook. So every student that goes through there, hopefully, I mean, probably should get credit for that class as well. So that'll be on there. And also our drawing class through art will be transcripted this year. So we're building that back up. And as our other areas, once the teachers meet the qualifications for that, we'll be adding in our personal finance and computer apps again. And we're looking at child development also through our FACE program. So I'm happy to report that because I'd love to have kids have 12 credits getting out of here for attending our classes. I know they get credits other places, but I love it when they can do that here as well and take advantage of what we have to offer. So that's the first. Second, FFA advisor. We do have an advisor for FFA. It's one of our staff members, Morgan Beckman. So there was not a question whether we were going to run FFA. The answer was yes, all the way through. I was going to take it over if needed, but I put it out to staff, and she met with our previous ag teacher. So that's been going. Everything is lined up for the year. So if anybody has any worries, we are running FFA. As far as our ag teacher, well, it's been on Indeed.com now for a month and a half. I had 1 applicant from out of state, and I contacted the DPI, and they said they would not license the person, so that fell through. I've had it on Handshake through all the university system, and 4 views so far in a month, so it's not stellar, but I do have some people that are student teaching on there that I can reach out directly to. I did contact River Falls. They have 3 student teachers this fall, and Platteville has 2, so there's 5 in the state, which is not a lot, but River Falls did say they're expecting about 12 in the spring. So if we don't find somebody now, I'm still holding out hope, obviously, but if we don't find somebody now, I'm hopeful that we could get somebody at semester, and if not, for next year. We are not going to let this program go. I did also interview, I cold called a retired ag teacher, and so he came up for a visit, and it just turned out he lives about 40 minutes away, and I may call him back again. I know this is being recorded, but so I'm still working on whatever I can. I've emailed some people that I've had names of as well and been contacting, so we're beating the bushes trying to get it done. I did contact and talk to the state FFA and agriculture advisors to the DPI, and they put everything out into their networks as well. So it is out there as much as we can, nationally and statewide. There just are not a lot of ag teachers. I mean, it's West Salem went a little bit different route with theirs with the licensing on it. So it's kind of a science class. So it's got a little different course to that. So, and speaking of science, I talked to the Hillsborough principal today, and they still haven't filled their science position that opened in February. So, and I just saw that Oshkosh has 80 open positions left, total. And so we're not the only ones, but we are going to get our ag program back again. It's going to happen. This community needs it. Our students need it. It's a valuable program. We have great facilities for it. I'm confident once somebody sees that, they'll want to come here. So that's the update I have on that.
Any questions for Mr. Mullenberg? Thank you. Dr. Brockup?
I just have on there, just so I didn't forget to remind you, I do intend to use the marketplace to sell the old plow truck. I think I'm going to put one of the buses eventually, if that works well, the second bus that's being used as storage right now. Through that, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'll be the first to tell you, and then we won't try that again. But I think it is a good way to get that information out there. It's a fair way to give multiple people an opportunity to see that we're selling it. We had done try to do the silent or the closed bid auctions in the past, and they were not terribly effective. So I'm going to make that attempt. I'll keep you guys posted on how those things go. Activity center floor, we are to the point where that's going to start coming out either yet this week or the beginning of next week. There are sections of that floor that are in really good condition, and I know there's a lot of history there. I am hopeful that we are able to save the cardinals and use those as some wall accents in a couple of places. But that said, I think if there are community members that would be interested in a piece of that for a tabletop at home or something like that, they can reach out to me and we could get them a piece of that floor if people were interested in that. So the more that goes that way, the less would go in a dumpster and save us some money there. So it should be basically the floor, we should be able to cut it with a circular saw and lift it up in kind of whatever size sheet that we want. And it'll be like 2 inches thick when you do that with the floor and the finish and everything all attached. So I'm saying that now. I may put that on Marketplace as well if people are interested in it, because the more that, again, if people were interested in wanting it for a tabletop or something like a tabletop, that it's just less that goes in the dumpsters. So around the edges and stuff where the damage was not.
I'm confused. I thought that floor was being sanded and used.
No, we've talked about that. The
She might have missed it, though.
the floor was damaged during the roofing process.
I knew that, but to
It's
an
being
extreme
replaced.
of the whole thing.
Yes. It'll be a brand new floor in that gym.
Maybe she wasn't here.
I don't think you were at that. So that'll be coming out soon.
I mean,
If
I'm
there are
assuming
people
the
that,
insurance is the ones who declared it. whether or
Correct.
not it was-
correct.
It was
Yeah.
that rain, it was from that rainstorm, from the roofer, right?
Yes. Yep. The insurance companies are working amongst themselves, but it is not our liability. It's on them. It's part of the timeline on that building. Yep. It was halfway through the roofing removal that it happened. We got that big weekend storm. Other than that, I just have on here kicking off the school year just as a note to myself as much as anything. It is going to be, for our staff, it's going to be a push here at the end, and there's going to be some stress. I sent an email today and I said, it's a group that has survived and powered through an entire year of construction and inconveniences, and they have done incredible things, and we've, seen our kids continue to learn and grow, which is outstanding. This is a staff that's powered through a pandemic in the past, and we're going to get through the next couple weeks as well. And as we take the handoff and our staff takes those kids, make sure parents are giving a shout out to those teachers for the work that they're putting in over the next couple weeks to be ready for those kids. And I can't say enough about our staff, and I know the work that they're about to do, the leadership that they're, the guys over there that are keeping them calm and keeping them focused. So thank you to the administrators for that. And it's going to be an exciting school year to really share all of the work that as it comes to completion. So that's all I got.
Thank you. So next, removal of items from the consent agenda. Our consent agenda tonight is our current openings. Those are listed. Recent policy, summer school dates for 2025 summer, hire of a 7th grade boys basketball coach, hire of a cheer advisor.
If there are no questions, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion made by Tina, seconded by Kelly to approve the consent agenda. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. I ask for adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Joni, seconded by Tina. All in favor? Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Oh, gosh, no, we didn't have a meeting. Did he send a text? I don't know if you're on anything yet.
We did the.
See, he texted me and I said, I'm not on transportation. He said, yeah, you are.
So I was part of the calls.
Yeah, okay. I'll look and
I
see.
apologize because I'm like,
No,
oh my gosh,
it's
I missed it.
fine.
I
No,
apologize for
no,
not
no,
being
no.
there.
Well, I didn't think, we didn't have a meeting, we just kind of, it was just about that, truck and.
I probably missed everything if it got sent.